skateboarding teaches you how to fail. It's not even arguably, it's the hardest thing to do in the world. Like, it's infinite. You can never do every trick, and you're going to constantly be failing every single day. So after you go through skateboarding, pretty much everything seems easy. And since we're so used to failing, we take that we take that aspect from skateboarding, and when you put it into business, we're not scared to fail because we're not scared to fall. And as any entrepreneur knows that, failure is a part of success. So if you know how to take it on the chin with failure, you're going to be successful.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Report. Today, I got a personal friend of mine doing big things in all sorts of spaces. He's a professional skateboarder. He's an entrepreneur. Having him back on the podcast for the second time, I got my man, Brandon Turner. Brandon, welcome back to the show.
Oh, round 2, let's go, man. So good to see you, Rick.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, man. We first connected for the first time in person on podcast number 1. Since then, you became an investor in our fund. We become friends together, doing a bunch of cool stuff together. But dude, what the hell have you been up to since, man? I know you just came off the Japan trip. Tell me about Japan. Why do you go out there all the time?
Man, I've been back and forth to Japan like every month now for the last 4 months, and basically, I fulfilled my long-term dream was purchasing a home there. So I just been renovating it back and forth, going there, going through all the different laws that they have from the U.S. and with the water companies, electrical, painting the house, flooring.
You do a lot of skateboarding out there?
Yeah. I grew up skating in Japan, so it's like San Diego to me. It's my home base.
Yeah. And for the listeners that don't know, Brandon Turner is legendary skateboarder, been killing the game, won Trick of the Year not that long ago. And I used to watch you personally when I was skateboarding as a kid growing up. I first heard of you on Shorty's Fulfill the Dream. You had an entire chapter there with Chad Muska and all these folks on there. I think you were only 13, 14 at the time?
Yeah, I was like 14 years old, and the Shorty's era was a good stamp of the 90s era with fashion and kind of like the mold that skateboarding is today. So appreciate you watching that. Now I get to watch you do your thing, man. Let's go, man.
I love it. Now, a question for you though, because you started in this game of skateboarding a long time ago. I mean, I was a kid watching you on Shorty's Fulfill the Dream, and now you're in your 40s and you're still skating at a very high level.
Thank you.
What's this attribute to? Because that's not normal for people to continue skating in their 40s. So how are you able to do it?
Well, for me, just lifestyle changes. Not saying it's for everybody, but I'm vegan. That was for my body chemistry. It helped tremendously, like change my whole healing process, the way my longevity of how my endurance, everything, so is that getting rid of alcohol and drugs, of course, because, in the late 90s, we partied a lot and stuff. So, I don't drink, I don't use drugs or do any of that. And that was a major factor. And I take care of my health. I do a lot of cooking at home, sea moss, black seed oil, and Juice Plus and all the things,
Yeah. And you mentioned to me that you bought a Pilates studio because Pilates has been it's been a big movement and a big reason for your longevity. Talk about
Absolutely. Pilates. Okay, for me, being as naive as I was at the time, like I just, thought Pilates were for women, and that's just how much I didn't know about it.
I always thought that too.
Yeah, exactly. But, actually the story of Pilates is amazing because Pilates it doesn't matter, by gender, but it was, to my surprise, invented by a man, in, World War II, and by a man named Joseph Pilates, who was in the camps healing people with lost limbs and everything. And one of the first apparatuses is from the beds in the camps. And
which camps?
The healing camps and taming camps, whatever.
These are like PO, like prisoner of war camps?
Yeah. Not prisoner of war camps, like where people were, injured and, like where they're people blown off limbs and all that. So he started the first apparatus, the reformer, from the beds in those camps and started with the springs and pulleys and stuff. And people were people are moving out of there. People are healing, better oxygenation of the blood, full body integration, and they were getting up out of the camps. Hitler found out about this and found out about Joseph Pilates and sent troops to go find this man because had that many amazing results. And he found out about it and he fled to New York and started Pilates.
Damn, that's crazy. So what is it about Pilates that that you found so moving?
When I first tried it, I realized right away, I was just like, oh, whoa, I'm breathing into my body and stuff. And I've always been into working out, but it really taught me how to work out correctly with integrity and just the way, the rhythm of the breathing and the oxygenation of the blood and all that stuff. And then after a couple of times doing it and stuff, I went skating and I noticed a major difference with the balance of the body and a major difference. And I've been skating my whole life. So I was just like, oh, this has changed everything. So right away, I signed up to get certified and, had to start a studio.
Damn.
And that's what I have to give all due credit to my
longevity
and actually being better than I was because of Pilates.
Yeah. How do you go about finding a Pilates studio to buy?
Oh, we started it. I started with my program.
Did you start it from scratch or did you buy an existing studio?
So I started by just buying a reformer at first, and then I partnered with a studio.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did that go about? So you bought the reformer, then you go find a studio. And what was the agreement you worked out with?
I started my own studio, and it was actually a home studio on my balcony at my house.
During COVID?
No. Well, during COVID, I was doing like online Zoom classes.
You were teaching people?
Yeah, on Zoom, like during COVID. So that was cool.
Yeah, I love that.
And then after that, my house on the balcony, and we had a studio there.
That's fire, dude.
Yeah.
And so when you were teaching, I'm curious, was it primarily woman or male?
It was mostly men because I taught some women, but it was men that were kind of apprehensive about doing Pilates. So I
got to be honest with you, I was apprehensive about doing Pilates. So I'm like, I was telling my girlfriend, she does Pilates all the time. I was like, show me another guy that goes to these classes and then I'll go. And then shortly after that, you and I were hanging out. I think we went up to the Built warehouse and had lunch with the Built guys.
Yeah.
And you were telling me on the car ride up there, you're like, dude, I own a Pilates studio. And I was like, damn, okay. So there it is. I gotta go try it now.
You have to do it. I'm telling you, it's life changing. And if you like going to the gym or working out, Pilates is going to show you how to work out correctly. So later in life, you're not hunched over or limping around looking swole.
Yeah. I gotta definitely check it out. And you got a studio here in Bankers Hill. That's where it's located, right?
Not no more.
Okay.
Out of that, now looking for another location to do a new kind of uplifted version of it.
Okay. There's a new one here in Little Italy that one of the girls on my team, Lauren, that walked you guys up, she joined. And it's brand new at the base of Lindley, Columbia and Ash. And Lauren speaks pretty highly of it, but she just did like a 6-month membership there. I don't know anything about Pilates. I want to go try it. So I'll probably start with just trying it.
You have to try it. Just try a beginner's reformer class.
Only if Oscar comes with me.
Yeah, you good. Trust me.
That's the next episode. Okay, I like it. You get Big Mike in there too?
Hey, Big Mike, man, come on.
Mike, have you tried the Pilates?
I have tried it.
And what do you think?
I did Pilates and yoga.
You like it?
Yeah. I like weights, but
yeah.
Pilates is definitely something that's a positive.
Okay.
I recommend.
Okay. Big Mike, for you guys that don't know, he was a pro soccer player, partners with Brandon, also investor in our fund, and he says he's a big fan. So I got to check it out, the Pilates game. So tell me the extent of your skating today. You're how old are you?
I'm 43.
43 years old. Okay. So tell me the extent of your skating today. What is a week look like for you? How many days a week are you skating?
Right now I'm skating like 4 days a week, 2 days during the week, and then 2 days on the weekend, because the weekends, usually when we film and stuff, and during the week is normally when I take my crew at West Side Recovery out for skating. That's kind of just like me practicing, warming up for the weekend, trying to decide what I want to film and go do.
And so when you go out, typically you always bring a camera crew?
Yeah, we got filmers and friends who are skaters who are always with us, and if there's something I want to try, then I just let them know that, and we schedule it and go handle business.
So how do you approach like a day? Let's just say you're like, okay, we're going to go skate today. How do you approach it? Are you like saying, okay, we're going to go skate for 2 hours, we're going to go here, or maybe we might hit a couple spots? Like, walk me through that.
Well, skateboarding is more of like a lifestyle, so it's more of like friends just hanging out. So, I mean, if there's a photographer involved, then it's more, you need to be more professional and just be like, hey, you got to know the spot you're going. Hey, if you could skate it on that day, if anyone's working, if there's any security, if you're going to get kicked out, what trick we're going to do. And
it's way more intentional.
Yeah, and then I got to, be ready and have my filmer crew and support with my friends, and then we go handle business. And hopefully...
Is it easier to go a little bit bigger? Like, do you have an extra gear when the cameras are on?
Well, absolutely. It's just another sense of pressure, especially when you're looking at something and they start pulling out the camera stuff, and you're just like, yo, we're like, hey, I didn't even say I was going to try this. Like, let's go,
But it's easier to go a little bit. It pushes you a little bit further and a little harder when you have the cameras on.
Yeah, it's definitely a tactic like filmers will use and stuff, and then they'll start getting in your ear like, oh, you can do this. You got this or whatever. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I feel like risking it all today,
Yeah, totally. So, I know even when I was skating as a kid, it can be rough on your body. A lot of wear and tear, which is why I'm like, I see you operating at 43 like this, still skating. I think it's very impressive. How much does your body dictate how much you're going to skate, how you're feeling and all that?
Like me, it's just this discipline, if I'm hurt or sore and stuff, a lot of things where people go wrong, and I think this applies to life too, is just like, if I'm hurt or sore and can't perform at 100%, I'm not skating. I'm not going to risk hurting something else because I'm injured. And it's just like skateboarding is like learning how to fall, and that's just like life, so it's the art of falling and what you learn when you pick yourself back up.
And what's the key to like falling gracefully, if you would?
Just not falling on any of the limbs, like your elbows or your knees or your head, and just kind of learning how to roll out of things. Just like life, you just got to roll with it, baby.
Yeah, that's good. I see a lot of your skate videos on your Instagram, and by the way, I encourage all listeners to go check out Brandon's on Instagram. It's at @bturner_. But I see you doing like all sorts of variety stuff, stairs, rails, even skating some bowls at the park. What is your favorite type of terrain to skate?
I like skating stuff into banks, so that means into hills, if you don't know, like a bank, like over rails into banks, off of stuff into banks. And it's
why is that?
It's just because it's a rush, like when you land the trick and then you're going down a hill and then you gotta stay on the board and you're all wobbling and shaking. It's just like you're sidewalk surfing, man.
But that also, I imagine, leads to like some pretty nasty falls if you don't land it right, correct?
Yeah, and that's the risk of it all, and that's why when you come out of it, it's that more of enjoyment.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know you started Switch Hard Flip Day. What is that?
Well, it was the day that I got Trick of the Year for Switch Hard Flip, and on that day, I kind of put together a contest for everyone like in the world who's a participant to upload and post their biggest switch hard flip, our best switch hard flip, and then I'll go through it and pick a winner and use some of my sponsors to hook them up with some merch and a cash prize. I didn't do it last year because some other things were going on, but I'll definitely be doing it this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk about Trick of the Year. You did a switch hard flip, and you won Trick of the Year. What year was this?
This is 2020.
2020, and I saw the video. Very impressive.
Thank you.
I mean, it's impressive to do it regular foot, but you did it switch, which is even more impressive. And how many stairs was that?
It was 4 large, long stairs. So, and it was at a famous spot, Wallenberg in San Francisco. So, it's just like the spot's huge. It's not fun. It's stressful.
That's iconic stairs right there, where a lot of people will do a lot of tricks.
Yeah, it's known in the skateboard industry as one of the staples in skateboarding.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you get trick of the year? Is that something where like they'll look at the entire year of all the skate videos and they'll say, okay, this was the number 1 trick of the year?
Absolutely, that's how it's done, and it's ran by Street League Skateboarding, one of the biggest platforms for contests, or the biggest platform for contests besides the X Games in skateboarding.
Yeah. And so how does it work? Do you get a bunch of people get nominated and then people vote, or who selects the winner?
And then they wind it down to like finalists, and then they pick a winner.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. So what's the key to getting good riding switch?
Just like riding with your left hand. If you're right-handed, and riding with your right hand if you're left-handed, it's just practice, and it's good for your brain too. You know, like just to know how to be ambidextrous with everything, and kind of like life. I use a lot of like stuff in skateboarding and apply that to life. It's just like if you're good at one thing, on one side you should be good at all areas.
So if you do like, are you goofy or regular foot?
I'm regular.
So you're regular. So in your career, if you learned a trick, would you automatically be like, okay, I got this trick down, let me just get it down switch now?
Yeah, that naturally
you would do that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if I feel like if I don't like the way it feels, or I just kind of like pick and choose of what I want to learn and how I want to do it. But I've been skating a long time, so it's like I know what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you a big fan of doing handrails?
I like handrails and stuff, and I've definitely had my slams on handrails, so handrails. So I know the risk.
What's the craziest accident you ever had?
I've stuck on a handrail, and like a 10-stair handrail, and flew all the way to the bottom of the stairs and broke my wrist, and it was just like the worst feeling ever. So
what were you doing on the handrail?
What trick was it? I was trying to switch board slide.
Okay.
And that's
front side or back side?
It's backside. So I was trying to get both trucks over the rail and slide down, but one of the trucks overturned and locked up, and I stuck at the top. So
at the very top?
Yeah. So it's equivalent to jumping off a rail down 10 stairs and just landing on your like
in backside. So
chest.
you're not even seeing what's the direction you're falling, right?
No, it was like backside, but I was turning front side. So yeah.
Damn. And so it was just a free fall.
Yeah.
Damn. What does that feel like when you have one of those?
It's just the worst feeling ever. Like, it was broken. I was in pain, and then I had to drive with one hand. I just remember that pain, like, oh, I think it's broken. You know?
Damn, that's crazy. Is that video online?
I don't know where it's at, but it's pretty old, but I'll never forget it, you know?
Damn, dude, that's crazy, man. I noticed, like, okay, so when I go snowboarding, a lot of snowboarders wear helmets. But I noticed, like, with the skateboard game, a lot of you guys don't wear helmets. Why is that? Is it like a cultural thing?
Yeah, it's culturally, and it's just respect. You know, where you're risking your life, so it's just like bird skaters and stuff wear helmets, and that's pretty standard. But a street skater, like,
why do the vert skaters wear the helmets? Like, why is it standard for them to wear it? Is it because your head's more at risk if you're doing the vert stuff?
Not more so much at risk, but like you can like slip out and smack your head, and it's just like you're going high in the air, and you're coming, like, the velocity is like pretty intense most of the time. So
yeah, you ever get into vert skating at all?
I can skate a little vert. I was into it for a little bit, but just wasn't my thing. I don't like falling on my knees all the time. I just feel like that's gonna, I just feel like it's I like my knees, you know.
Did you ever get into competitions, X Games, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've had some. I've never been like a consistent contest skater, but I have skated some contests. I've won some contests, and yeah, they're fun and stuff. It's just things change with the time of skateboarding, and right now it's like it's really political. So
really,
mm-hmm.
When you say skateboarding is political, elaborate on that.
You just have to have certain sponsors, certain qualifications. You have to qualify for certain contests to be in other contests and then be at other contests, and then you have to score high. It's all based on points and stuff. And me, I respect it, and there's a lot of good skateboarding going on, but the type of skateboarding I am, I'm like, it's an art to me.
So are you, when you say political, are you saying like, okay, in order to qualify for the X Games and potentially score high, you gotta please the judges and you gotta do the off the skateboard stuff really well, and it's more of like a popularity contest?
Well, it has a lot to do with skill too, but it's business. You know, you got to be
Marketable.
Yeah, not just even marketable. You got to just be on point with your game. You got to like jump through all the hoops and put in the work to get into the contest. It wasn't like before, like, oh, you're a professional skater and you can enter. No, you have to really go through all of the qualifications and you got to earn your spot. So I give a lot of respect to those dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of skaters get into business in their post skating career. You know, Mikey Taylor, he got into real estate. He's been on the podcast a couple of times. I'm a big fan of Mikey, and you know, he's got real estate funds now, raising a lot of money and doing a lot of ground up development in the apartment game. Your boy Brandon Novak was on.
Yeah,
he's doing big things in business, to recovery treatment centers and all that. Why is it that skateboarders make good entrepreneurs in the post skating game?
well, that's easy for me because skateboarding is like I was talking about the art of falling. Like skateboarding teaches you how to fail. It's not even arguably, it's the hardest thing to do in the world. Like it's infinite. You can never do every trick, and you're going to constantly be failing every single day. So after you go through skateboarding, pretty much everything seems easy. And since we're so used to failing, we take that we take that aspect from skateboarding, and when you put it into business, we're not scared to fail because we're not scared to fall. And as any entrepreneur knows that, you know, failure is a part of success. So if you know how to take it on the chin with failure, you're going to be successful.
That's good. That's really good. Who's your favorite skater right now?
Everybody who has the love for skateboarding for the right reasons and actually has the integrity and the passion to love skateboarding for what it is and not anything unauthentic. So if you respect skateboarding as an art, you're my favorite skateboarder. But
so give me an example. Like if you say, what would be unauthentic if someone doesn't respect the game? Give me an example of what that would be.
Someone who just doesn't like skateboarding and just does it because they're good at it because they want something out of it,
instead of like for the true love of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So what are a couple younger skaters coming up that you're like, damn, this is one of my favorite kids?
Oh, Masaki Hongo rides for Skate Mafia, of course.
Japanese dude?
Yep. My nephew, and then Alexis Ramirez. I mean, he's been coming up, but he just keeps coming up. So, you know, and there's a bunch of people. Shintaro Hongo too, his brother. There's so many up and coming dudes. Like it's too much to. But those are mine right there.
So when I think of some of the other pro skateboarders, like here in San Diego, like Danny Way, Tony Hawk, you ever connect with any of those guys?
Yeah. Danny's my friend. So, you know, we talk here and there and stuff, and he's an entrepreneur as well. So
yeah,
it's just super cool.
What about Tony?
We did this, documentary based on San Diego because skateboarding came from San Diego and just the history of skateboarding. So I was on that documentary and super honored to even be a part of that, kind of discussing the 90s and what was going on in that era that I was a part of and to the early 2000s. So yeah, that's, you know, I've talked to him here and there.
What's the name of that documentary, man? I'll have to check it out.
It's 900 Films.
900 Films?
Yeah.
And what's it primarily about?
It's about the how skateboarding started. Mm-hmm.
And how did it start? Hey guys, if you're looking to get into real estate investing, but you're like, hey, I don't have the time, but you want to participate in the passive income, the tax benefits, and the wealth building, my company, Summers Capital, partners with limited partners, people like yourself, and we go out and buy boutique hotels. We have a fund where we currently own 5 hotels, and we currently have a wait list for investors to participate with us. If you want to learn more to see if this is a fit for you, you can go to summerscapital.com/invest to inquire and get on our wait list and be notified next time we have an opportunity. Again, summerscapital.com/invest. Now back to the show.
In San Diego.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know
everything.
that. I didn't know that.
The first skate park, the first ramp, first urethane wheel, the first truck, for everything. Everything's in skateboarding started right here in San Diego. So for those who don't know, now you know.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. I didn't know that. What year roughly was this? The 70s, 80s?
I believe, I don't know the exact year, but you got to check out the film, 900 film.
And those were on these like those small skates that were like literally the size of like an ice skating rink, right?
Yeah, it's all, there's a couple different styles of boards, but it was like crazy. There was like metal wheels, everything before, but the first urethane wheel, tracker trucks, all this, like it all came from San Diego.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. What's your favorite skate park here in San Diego? What's the go-to?
I like Poods Park up in Encinitas, and it was built by my early mentor and the man who gave me my first sponsorship with Voice Skateboards, Canton Russell, the lead design and architect for New Line Skate Park. Shout out to New Line Skate Parks, always taking good care of me, bringing me to open up their skate parks and really go out there and do demos and show out for the kids. They really take care of me. But Canton built that park and everything. He does an amazing job with all the parks he builds. So
I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners are curious, how much does a pro skateboarder make today?
I have no idea. There's some who make a lot of money and then some who are struggling but are very good. It doesn't matter how good you are. It matters nowadays how good you are with communication and if you're a likable person and if you on top of your game, you know? So if you're a good skater and you're good at both, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah. Does the majority of a pro skater's income come from brand deals or going out and competing at contests?
A little bit of both. If you're doing well in the contest, then you got other sponsors like drink sponsors and all that stuff. But you know, it depends. I would say like base salary, like regular. If you had a shoe deal and you were, you know, you didn't have a shoe and you were just on a shoe company or something, you're probably making base salary. And then
okay, how much would that base salary be?
Like $60K a year.
Okay.
And then if you're like you have a shoe and you have an energy drink sponsor and all that and stuff, you can be making like definitely 6-7 figures.
Okay. So like a couple $100,000 easily. Yeah. And then like what is it, if you have a shoe deal, will they allow you to go and take on other brand deals in the skate realm or is there non-competes?
It just depends on if the shoe company has like a up and coming or established clothing with it, you know? And you know, like say like Nike by, you know, if you might have with Nike, if you have a shoe deal with them and then with the clothing too, and then now you gotta kind of wear both. But there's some people who have the shoe deal and clothing deals and whatever, boxers, and do some fashion stuff. It just depends on how your contract's laid out.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest brands, the biggest skateboarders in the game today? Someone like a Nija, what's Nija's last name?
Houston.
Nija Houston. Or
Yuto.
What's that?
Yuto, origami, Japanese, two-time Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah. Or what's the kid out of San Clemente? Sheckler? What's his name?
Ryan Sheckler.
Yeah. So someone like Ryan Sheckler or Nija Houston, what kind of money are those guys making?
I don't know. I mean, I know Nigel's making millions and Sheckler too. He's got the Red Bull stuff. I don't know. I don't really pocket check people too much. So
yeah. I'm just curious.
Yeah. It's just like, no, Nigel's doing really well. He just, you know, he's on Nike. He just came out with a new shoe with them. Sheckler's an entrepreneur too. So he has a Sheckler Foundation, skate park, you know, and all that stuff. So they're doing well because they've been in the game for a minute and they're established. But I'm more so talking about like the younger kids and who are kind of still trying to figure it out.
Would you say there's a lot more money in this industry today than there was like when you were coming up?
I don't know. Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, it just depends on where you're at and who you're with. Because during my time, like I can't really speak for anyone else, but we were at the top. So I was living real comfortable, and I just thought it was never going to end. And that's what I want to tell people too, who are athletes and doing very well, that they think there's no end. I would try to inspire people to plan for your future and stuff. And I know you don't want the party to be over, but you have to plan for your future and do what's best for yourself and invest.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you were working with shorties, early on, and you were on Fulfill the Dream and all those videos back in the day, what was that like, riding with Chad Muska and Eric and some of those guys?
It was just amazing to be chosen by the top skateboarder at the time to be on his team. So as soon as the shorty stuff started happening and we were on a rocket ship, it was just like, I still haven't lived like that till this day, because I've never had to not worry about paying for anything, like my rent, anything I did in life. I just didn't have to be paid for, and I got paid. So
that was when you were on the shorties team?
Yeah. And that was insane. Well, shorties and Osiris, they had someone with a credit card, a team manager, anywhere and everywhere we went. We had budgets for just
everything
our life.
Was covered.
Yeah, everything.
Lifestyle, hotels,
everything,
all that.
My apartment, everything.
Damn. And you were only 15 at the time, right?
Well, this went on from 15 to 26.
Damn, that's crazy. What was it like traveling with these guys, like Chad and Eric, and just traveling around the country skating with these guys?
Well, you're just talking about the people who set the fashion trends, me being a part of it as well. I mean, gratefully, of the whole industry. Chad Muska being one of them. So just being able to watch this dude and the way he moves and his creative flow and energy was like nothing you've ever seen. And yes, there's a lot of learned creativity nowadays and stuff that I respect, and I love what people are doing. But when you see that raw creativeness from a being, it gives you shivers, because they are really creators and they can do anything. Anything they touch is gold.
Yeah. I just remember Chad Muska always having the boombox, doing a lot of stuff. And then even that Tony Hawk video game came out, he would have the boombox. What was I'm curious, the boombox thing, was that something he always did? Did he really skate with the boombox, or that was just kind of for video?
He really skated with the boombox. He was always just skating with music and everything, and had the boat hyping it up. All right, I'm gonna do it right here. Oh man, this guy was such a creative. There'd just be this big handrail, and I'd just be like, I don't want to watch him do this. This is crazy. And he'd be playing the music, and he'd be all fitted up, and he'd be like, all right, right here, 50 times. Then all of a sudden he'd disappear. The music's still, but I'm like, where's he? Chad, is he doing? He come back with a whole new outfit. All right, I'm gonna do it right here. So he was different.
Damn, that's crazy. And he would try a handrail 50 times with the boombox all 50 times?
I've never seen, every time I've ever seen Chad try a handrail, he's did it first try.
Really? With the boombox?
Yeah, it would take him an hour to try it. Not with the boombox every time, no. But he was the staple in skateboarding as the handrail skater. So he set that whole thing, and he would do it he would take an hour to do it, and he would do it first try, and then be like, all right, it's time to go party. And it was a celebration.
I remember his ES shoes with the pocket in the tongue.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school, those were super popular. I remember we were always rocking those Muskas.
Yeah, so people don't know, and those of you who don't know, Chad Muska invented the stash pocket in the shoe. That's the type of guy he was. And you might see oh, that's normal, stash pocket, but this is everything. There had to be someone to first think of these things, and Chad Muska was the blueprint for that.
Those were for a while the ES, those shoes. Eric Costner had his own, right? But those ES shoes were the trendiest shoes for skateboarders for a while.
Yeah, it was the skateboard company because it was owned by skateboarding. skateboarders, so it had a lot of respect.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I remember watching like those skate videos growing up. But the whole Shorties Fulfill the Dream video, like I remember probably watching that with my skateboarding buddies. We would watch it maybe hundreds of times, like literally.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody who like supported that era because it was amazing.
That was the best era, would you say?
Yeah. Oh, it was the best era. Like I don't care what anyone's doing. Like that was the era.
This is making me want to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, man. Hey, you got to come out on the street sometime and just come.
I would love to.
And
I would love
just,
to.
like, post up and see how it all goes down.
Yeah,
you know?
I would love to. Next time you go out, like here locally on like a Saturday or Sunday, let me know.
Yeah.
I'd love to come out for like an hour or two and just hang out.
Yeah, it'd be cool
watch.
to check it out. You
Yeah,
know?
I would love to. Does Big Mike ever go out there too? Really?
Yeah.
Mike will get out there. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. So I want to switch gears here, man. I know you do a lot giving back to, the city and a lot of the people around locally that are, dealing with drug and alcohol abuse. I know when we went up to Irvine to go meet up with the Built guys, we're coming back and you got a call from some lady who had a skateboarder who was coming off of heroin, and she's like, hey, can you take this guy in? He's a big fan of you in the skateboarding realm. So talk about what you're doing in the drug and rehab space.
Well, for one, just being a vessel, and through my experience, strength, and hope, just being someone that you could reach out to help with and let people know how I did it, and because it's not easy when, even if it's just drinking drugs or whatever you're doing becomes part of your identity. So that's the main thing. So I decided to start Westside Recovery. It's a rehabilitation center. It's for substance abuse and mental health, and we have a PHP program, which is partial hospitalization, a IOP program, which is intensive outpatient, and OP, which is outpatient. And the way it works is like, someone's struggling, then they go through a detox, and that's through a hospital or through a controlled environment that's a certified detox facility. And then after that, they would come to my program to actually get the tools to learn how to live life on life's terms and work through their issues, therefore that they would deal with drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, that's powerful what you're doing there. And you taught me something when we were driving back from Irvine. I was like, Brandon, what does it mean? Because I live downtown in San Diego, and we know there's a lot of homeless down here, but there's also some crackheads down here, right? And I was always curious. I'm like, some of these folks are pretty young, and it could be a Monday afternoon. I'm walking home from the office, and you see some dude out there 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he's talking to the wall, yelling at the street signs, and I'm like, who are these people talking to? And you told me they're like, no, they're under a certain state. What was the name of that state? Where they're hallucinating.
Yeah, they're in their active addiction, and they're just in a different realm. They're.
But what's that state? There was a name for it. They're like something tosis.
They're in psychosis.
Yeah, psychosis.
Yeah.
And I was like, Brandon, what does that mean? And you're like, dude, it's when they haven't slept for 4 or 5 days. Your brain starts to hallucinate, and that's why they're yelling at the brick wall. They're yelling at the street signs. Is because like they're hallucinating. And I'm like, dude, that makes a lot of sense because they just haven't been able to sleep for so long.
Yeah.
And they're on crack.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you said, hey, when they re-up, they get high again, resets them for like 24 hours, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone who has any knowledge with like just like their local homeless people or family members, like some people are really smart and can be completely normal, and that's what it is. If you're on methamphetamines and you're up for a week, like people are gonna start showing up that ain't there, and until you are able to get that rest and get stable, then it could really affect your brain and change you forever if you're not careful.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing, man. But it's a sad thing to see like all the folks. A lot of these folks I see are pretty young. Like, some of these folks younger than me, and they're out there, and I'm like, damn. Like I always wonder, like how did they end up there? Because I've experimented with drugs and alcohol, and I'm sober now. And I just like,
Congratulations,
thank
yo.
you. I like this version of myself better, just being sober. But I was lucky that I was able to experiment, you know, and I never got to that state, but I always wondered, man, like, how did they get to that point where they're like, literally like, you know, yelling at the street signs? I'm like, dude, it's a sad thing. And the world would be a better place if there's more folks like you kind of educating and helping out.
Well, thank you. And just to touch on, you know, as far as like skaters, and you're talking about why I get entrepreneurs and stuff, and that's the same with like drug addicts, because it's just like you don't have that frontal cortex, that lobe to like block you from any fears. So on the bright side of things, when people do decide to get help and get out of themselves, there's so many people like Novak, like myself, or so many countless people that have been homeless, living out of a dumpster, and now are huge entrepreneurs owning multiple houses and businesses and just crushing it. And that's a story. And that's what I love to see. And that's what I inspire people to live the best version of themselves with.
Yeah, that's a powerful thing. I like what Wes Watson says. He says like a man's purpose is to become the best version of yourself and give it to the world. So we're driving down from Irvine, and this lady calls you, and she's got this patient, and you said, hey, how long has it been? And you said, hey, I can't take him in until it's been X amount of hours. Walk us through like what's your thought process behind taking a patient in and why you got to wait a certain amount of hours?
Well, it's not hours, it's like weeks or days, because depending on what they're using, like if they're using fentanyl and stuff, you have to detox from that. You can't just be like, okay, I want to quit fentanyl and then come into a professional setting and sit in a therapy group and start doing these activities. You're going to be freaking out. You have to get stabilized. So you either have to go to a hospital, a live-in detox facility, and you're going to, depending on how long you've been on it, you're going to have to be there for a couple weeks and depending on what kind of damage you've done to your brain or whatever's going on, if you caught any diseases, you got to get blood tests, you got to get fully like stabilized, and you might have to be on some other medications to help you stabilize. So you have to get properly diagnosed, have a pre-assessment, even if you're coherent enough to be able to have that conversation, to have a pre-assessment, got to get you in, and you know, the doctor's got to see what's going on.
Because do people, when they check themselves in a rehab, do they get high one last time and then they go in high?
Oh, yeah, a lot of people do that.
They do that?
A lot of people do that.
And then so for them to be accepted into your facility, you mentioned days, sometimes weeks off of it. How long, what's the threshold typically before you'll talk to them?
It's like 10 days to 2 weeks, because you got to realize alcohol is a benzo.
Alcohol is?
Yeah, so alcohol and Xanax, and it's not smart for you. Like if you just are drinking every day, and even if it's a couple beers, depending on everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. So a lot of the times people will, oh, this person does this and that. Like everybody's body's chemistry is different. So, but with the benzo, it does the same thing to everybody, but it could be different time differences. So if you're drinking every day or you're getting drunk every day and stuff, like you can't come to the facility. You got to go get stabilized, because if you just try to stop on your own, like, oh, I'm done drinking, you can have a seizure and die. Like your body needs that. Like, so you can't just.
I didn't know alcohol was a benzo. I know Xanax.
Yeah.
Xanax is.
No, alcohol is a
Damn.
benzo.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why people have the shakes when they stop drinking. Like, that's not good. You can have a seizure. I would recommend anyone who drinks a lot on the daily and everything, and they want to stop, definitely go to the hospital or to a detox.
Yeah. Would you take someone in if they're in, what's it called, hytopus?
Oh, no, psychosis?
Psychosis. Would you take them in if they're in psychosis?
No, absolutely not.
What would that be like?
Well, they're a danger to themselves and to the community. They would have to get stabilized, and they would probably have to be diagnosed and be put on some medication.
What's the go-to medication for these folks coming off?
There is no go-to medication. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to sit here and say there is. It's just everybody's different. Like everybody's body's different, and depending on what you put in your body, everyone has a breaking point or doesn't, and then it does something to your brain chemistry, and in order to get that functioning right, you have to get stabilized, and usually that's hopefully through getting everything out of your system, and then you're good to go. But if you're still not right and you still have anxiety or shakes or you're twitching, you might have to be on some medication.
How long have you been sober for?
It's almost 10 years now.
Damn. Good for you, man.
Let's go, man.
Good for you.
Come on, dude.
That's huge. That's huge.
Let's go, man.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro.
I feel amazing.
And now it's just normal life to you.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest change since you've been sober versus when you used to drink?
Just who I hang out with in my community, everything in business, friends, relationships, like everything has changed, and everything had to change because you can't do the same things expecting a different result. And as we know, that's the definition of insanity. So, everything's got to change.
Yeah, for me, man, being sober has been a life hack. I never really experienced being sober till spring of last year, spring of 2024. And I did about 75 days, the first stint.
You told me.
And then I did 100 days, and then I did another 100 days. And so now, I wouldn't say that I'm like 100% sober, but I'll typically do a stint of like 3 months, 100 days. And then I might drink a few times. And then I'm like, I'm good for another 100 days, and I think at a certain point, I'm just going to turn it completely off. I didn't realize like how puffy it makes your face. I see photos of me like back when I used to drink, and I'm like, dude, my whole face, like even on a podcast episode, my whole face is puffed up. I thought that was normal. I thought that was just how I looked. But you don't realize until you give it up to like where your face shrinks down. You look a lot healthier.
Yeah, everyone thinks they look good when they're drinking,
Yeah. But in all reality, it's the opposite, But more than that, like it's been a game changer for me. I think it's a cheat code to life. Way more energy. Energy levels are through the roof. I go to the gym. My fitness is more dialed. I'm waking up early in the morning. My sleep is better. I'm a better leader. I'm a better version of myself. I'm more dialed. But the energy levels is one of the biggest things. Your testosterone level goes up when you don't drink. And I used to just think it was normal to always feel sluggish and tired. And for me, when I was drinking, I would call myself a social drinker. But even if you're drinking, 3 nights a week, a couple glasses of wine, sometimes the 2 glasses of wine turn into 3 or 4 glasses of wine. Next thing you know, it's, a late night. It could be 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like, damn, like 2 glasses of wine turn into 4 o'clock in the morning. But even if you stop at 2 or 3 glasses of wine, you go out to dinner on a weekday, the next day, let's be honest, you're operating at 50%, 40% of your normal self. And if you're drinking 3 nights a week, that's 6 days a week of the nights you drink, and also the entire next day where you're operating at 40, 50% of your usual capacity. Half of your entire week is completely gone, devoted to alcohol. And that compounded over weeks and months and years, the difference of you drinking 3 or 4 nights a week versus no alcohol at all and always being dialed, always being at the top of the game, that compounded over weeks, over months, over years is the difference between someone playing college basketball and making it to the college basketball level and someone getting into the pros, getting into the NBA, becoming Kobe Bryant, becoming Michael Jordan.
Absolutely.
It's crazy, right? Especially as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, even as a professional athlete. I'm like, dude, I don't know many professional athletes that drink.
Yeah,
I don't.
Alcohol affects people are going to say, only thing people can say is like, oh, there's studies that show that it benefits you. It's good for your blood. Like how many things are good for your blood? Like, just stop it. Alcohol affects every single organ in your body. Hey, it is what it is. Like, if people who can drink normally and stuff, fine. Like, that's good. Like, I don't judge or anything. But as far as me, I don't want to have one drink. I mean, who wants to have one drink? Like, that's crazy to me. So for me personally, yes, my life is completely changed and better without alcohol, and I don't need it.
Yeah, I'll take it a step further. I think what spurred me getting into the no alcohol thing, what spurred me, to give up alcohol and go sober was I think I reached a point in my life last spring to where I felt like I had capped out my potential under those circumstances. And I feel like you can only go so far under those circumstances of going out and having some drinks and enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. It's good to enjoy and have a little bit of balance every now and then. But let's just be honest. If you're going out drinking 2 or 3 nights a week consistently, you're only going to get so far, especially as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. And I feel like I maxed out my potential under those circumstances. And in order for me to get to the next level, and by the way, there's always another level, me looking at all the people that are ahead of me that I was trying to become, I was like, dude, it's not a coincidence that none of those people drank. None of those people drank. I was just hanging out with the founder of a $6 billion company on 4th of July out in Catalina. The dude's in his 30s, and he runs a $6 billion company locally here in San Diego, got a team of 2,000 people. And I'm hanging out on his 105-foot yacht, and he's like, dude, he goes, the last 9 months, bro, he goes, I haven't drank. He goes, I've worked every single day for 9 months straight, 18 hours a day. And he's got a team of 2,000 people, and he's putting in that kind of work. He's putting in that kind of effort. But that's what it takes. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize that they want to get in the game, and they think it's going to be balance, and they're going to have this balanced lifestyle. I'm like, no. Like, if you really want to become the best of the best of the best, like, that's what it takes. It takes seasons of sacrifice. And sometimes that means sacrificing alcohol, sacrificing going out, if you want to become the best.
Absolutely. Everyone's got their vices and stuff, but it's not, if something's not empowering you, then it's probably disempowering you.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that's deep right there. So I don't know, man. I just think about, I hear too many people tell me like, hey, like I want to get into business. I want to get in real estate investing. I want to get the passive income. I want balance. I'm like, dude, if you want to get to the top in this game, there's not going to be balance. Weekends, holidays, you're going to miss a lot of events. You're going to have to give up the alcohol if you really want to become the best. And that's just part of the game. I don't think it's forever, but like you have to go through seasons where you give up certain things in order to become the person that you want to become.
Yeah, there's not something for nothing, right? And you gotta give to receive, and it's just and I'll just get to happiness. If you're trying to be happy, love and service is a byproduct of happiness. So just get to that, and you got to love yourself first if you want great things in life. And if you really dig deep and see and ask yourself in the mirror, like, are you loving yourself to your fullest potential?
That's good. That's good right there. So tell me about the Japan thing. I really want to go out to Japan. You spend so much time out there. I want to go out there. I want to go out there potentially this year. So maybe I'll line up a trip next time you're in town. But I love sushi. I love the Japanese culture. I've never been to Japan.
Let's go,
give me a little Japan game, bro. What's the story out there?
Man, so I grew up in Japan because my dad was in the military after the Gulf War. So grew up there 6 years, went back, got unofficially adopted by a Japanese family. My mentor who basically taught me how to kickflip, taught me how to skate. Fast forward, he had 2 sons. I mentored them. They're sponsored, and one of them skates for my team. And Japan's my second home, and got my house out there. Renovating that, and Japan is just amazing. It's peace. It's a good reset for me to go out there and love America and stuff, but the peace and serenity of Japan is just, you can't beat it. And culture, there's a lot of culture here and stuff, but it's just, there's a lot of culture here, a lot of bunch of diversity and stuff and everything, but there's something about the Japanese lifestyle that is healing to the soul.
I hear Japan's one of the safest countries out there. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
You sent me photos of like you hanging out in the streets of Japan. Good food, good people.
Yeah.
What are your favorite things to eat out there?
So many things that have so much good food, but like I'm gonna just say right now, the 7-Elevens and the Lawsons, the Konbini stores, like you can live out of those. Like I'm going to those like 4 or 5 days a week.
Damn, the 7-Elevens.
No, a day.
The 7-Elevens in Japan.
Popping.
Yeah. What do you get there? What's your go-to?
I get my rice rolls, my coffee, my smoothie. It's just amazing. There's everything there. Like you can go get your whole like meal there.
What's a rice roll?
It's just like rice, seaweed, beans, whatever's in there. It could be, they have a bunch of different ones.
Yeah. Do they have sushi in there?
Yeah, they got sushi in there,
Yeah,
of course.
that's
It's
dope.
Japan.
You put a little soy sauce and wasabi on there?
No, it's good straight out of the package.
What are the sushi bars like out there?
There's different ones. There's ones you could just order off the screen, and they'll just come around on a boat around and just like, bam, you could just pluck and just keep ordering. It's just amazing. Then there's ones with just people who've had the tradition in their families for years who really know how to like cut the fish and do certain things. And then also in Kamakura, I'm vegan, so I go to a vegan sushi restaurant. So the way they do that is they kind of give it that sea feel flavor with like the seaweed, like marinating in the seaweed and stuff, and to give it kind of that whole feel with the fish replacement.
That's pretty sick, man. I'm a big sushi fan, and obviously it's one of the cleanest foods out there. I can go in and eat a lot of like sashimi, nigiri. I love otoro, hamachi. Hamachi is like a good, cut of the yellowtail for anyone listening. Eel. Eel's really good.
I miss eel, man.
But the cool thing about sushi is like you can eat a lot, and because it's so clean, it doesn't like make you tired. When you go eat a bunch of like a big meal, typically you get tired, you got to go take a nap, your body shuts down. But I feel like with sushi, it's so clean that you could literally eat a ton of it and you don't even get tired. It doesn't even slow you down.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, I don't have that problem because I eat, Mike knows, I eat a whole lot and I don't feel tired because, I eat clean. But yeah, no, I feel you with sushi it's super clean, amazing. And the fish is different out there too. You notice the difference.
Yeah. I gotta line up a trip in Japan, and I gotta line up a skate day with you here one of these weekends. You and Mike. Let me know next time, and I'm coming out. Huh? We got Pilates too. Yeah. Yeah. Last time I had you guys in the compound lifting. So next time I want to get out there and the either the Pilates. Let's do the skate thing next.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like
That's
that.
Easy.
And maybe I'll get out there and hurt myself.
No, don't say that, man. You'll be good. You'll be good.
Yeah. Brandon, I appreciate you coming on the show, man, for round 2, dude. Always a pleasure. I'm a big fan of everything that you're doing. Where can the folks get in touch with you? They want to learn more about all the stuff that you're doing, man.
My handle on Instagram is bturner_ for my concrete aesthetics company, NouveauCrete.com. For anyone who needs treatment or dealing with mental health issues or family members with substance abuse issues, Westside Recovery SD, like San Diego.com. And Good Parking, is coming. Clothing company, activations for kids and stuff, for skate contests, and so many good things coming. So much to talk about.
I love it, man. He's just getting warmed up at age 43. My man, I appreciate you coming on. He's Brandon Turner, Onbridge Shimmers listeners. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.